Today is Tuesday, March 5, 2024. It is a couple minutes in front of 9 o'clock a.m. Eastern. Market opens in about 30 minutes. These are the levels that you see in front of you to trade against in the E-mini futures, and you'll notice that two of these levels are shown with dashed lines, 512.57 and 512.03. This area is a zone, so if the spiders come up into that level, for example, then it should be treated as a zone and reduced position sizes should be considered. Currently, they're below it. In the pre-market, they're at 510.17, or sorry, 510.12, 15. Where they open at 9:30 could be anywhere, but this is where they've been dripping lower most of the night. After the market closes this afternoon, we will take a look at all the trades taken in the E-minis based off of these levels. Okay, it's after 10 p.m. There were some trades today at these two levels. The first one at 510.10 was a short trade when the spiders came up into it after 9:45 a.m. That trade worked out very well. A base hit was pulled out of the market. The next trade was a long trade at 508.28. These are the levels that have not been adjusted yet. You'll see them in the live recording of these trades. But this long trade got below the fumble threshold. It did fumble, and that fumble was reversed, and it produced a base hit on the fumble. So it lost a few points, 5.5 points or so. And I had closed up shop about this point is around noon, but had to go to a meeting. But coming up into it the second time, this was valid for a recycle, and we'll take a look at that. We'll talk through it when I share the recording. I did not get the last part of this trade. It would have been nice, but either way, we'll take a look at the recording and talk through the two trades that I took. So the recording started right after 9:45 a.m., and at the time, they were under 510.05. I believe that level has been adjusted already. And so an order was in the system to go short if they came back up into that level. And they did. And you'll watch this trade as it played out. And I might just scrub ahead to speed this up a little bit. They got up to the level here, 10 o'clock or so. And the red line on the spider chart is the fumble threshold. And you can see they got above it a little bit, hung out, but there was no drama. They pulled back and provided the base hit pretty shortly. Right there. So that was 4 ES points in the bag. And at this point, looks like they're going farther down. So I had an order to go long at 508.33. I'll speed up the tape. So they came up a little close. It wasn't, I just was curious how that related to the base hit profit target of 40 cents in the spiders. So that's why the green line is on there. But wasn't worried at this point. They came down. They did trigger the trade. You see there's 4 contracts long at this point. They really just kind of petered out and couldn't get enough strength to pull a base hit out, and they kept going lower. Got about halfway home there, but that was about as much as they did. So you'll see this trade get out of the money. They hang out around the fumble threshold, 507.93. That's the red line. And for quite a while, just an hour or more, they just sort of played games around here. But I waited for the fumble signal to materialize. And when it did, it was pretty late. I'll just speed up and show you. They hung around, got above, got below, got above, got below. And then when they got up to 508.33 again, I'm just going to point out here, you'll notice that I have 3 contracts I was going to sell, because my expectation is if they got above 508.33 and started closing candles above this and filled the 3 contracts, I would let one trail, because I had a feeling they would go higher, like they would start to climb, because there was a lot of energy down here. It's a pretty important level. So they got up to 508.33. Haven't seen that yet. And just could not muster enough energy to go any higher. They got into the money a little bit, I think. Yeah, they were in the money, barely, but just couldn't do it. So when they started falling down and got back below the 507.93, that's when I got my fumble signal to reverse, and I did. You'll see that happen. So I lost a little bit of money on this on the fumble, but I got it back, or got 4 points back when it reversed. So the reversal happened pretty soon. You'll see it go from long 4 to short 4. There we go. And I put it at 5 points. That's why it's $1,000 instead of $800. And I think I even changed it to 3 contracts in a minute. Yeah, because I thought they're going to go lower, and I was just going to trail it. And sure enough, they did. So I trailed 1 contract, got a little bit more. I guess I could have just taken the full $1,000 at 5 points, but either way, it was just fun to watch them go a little bit lower. But they never got much lower. I was thinking they would get all the way down to this 505.50. That was the level I put as my reference point. If it got down there, I would have pulled quite a bit more points out, but they never did. So it was about now, close to noon or so, I had to close up shop. So they never got down to see these other levels. I'm just going to pause this. These other levels, 506.30, 503.88. I left before they got down. They actually did hit this one level, but I was not in the trade, nor was I in the trade at 508.33 for the recycle. So I am counting that because per the rules that would have happened. These 506.33 and 503.88 were not on the board this morning. They were just numbers that I put, levels that I put on the chart after the fact when I thought they might go a bit lower. So they're kind of non-factors at this point, but that I'm explaining why they're there. They weren't there this morning. So I'm just going to go ahead and go back to the full day, and we'll talk through the rest of this. So here's the whole day with just the 2 levels that the spiders hit: short trade, long trade, fumble, and then a recycle. The recycle actually was at 508.23 because that's 5 cents lower than the calculated level. So when you look at the analysis, that would have definitely worked. I wasn't around the computer at that point, so I didn't take the trade. But we'll take a look at the tracking log to show how all this translated into profits. First level to hit was the 510.10. Got a base hit. Came down to 508.28. There was a fumble. Lost 5.5 points. On the reversal, got 4 points. So that's a base hit. And then on the recycle, would have been a base hit. I did not get it. So my profits were like, I think $610 or something like that. But there was 4 points kind of left on the table. And I don't know if anyone who had these levels from this morning used them to trade. And if you made any money, I would be happy to know. So leave a comment under this video if you're so inclined. Thanks for watching and liking and subscribing to the channel. Have a great day.